on an actual clip. No one liked the idea. I said, can I write "to be continued" on my forehead? No. I have lots of really terrible ideas that I'd love to share with you. I'll give hundreds of them, and maybe you'll find one or two you actually kind of like. But no, so I'm in the robe, and I'm looking out at this. I mean, telling you, it's like unreal. It's so beautiful. And the crew is far away. They're doing something else. Nobody's paying attention to me. And I had this sort of, oh gosh, this feeling of euphoria, kind of like that feeling that you go when you go up in a swing, but it sort of was all over my arms and everything, because I was just momentarily really transported to a place that I really felt like I was anywhere but anywhere having to do with Earth. It really felt like I was in these robes and in that process that you try and dream yourself into it being real. And I got there. It was very exciting and went away pretty quickly. The only time that ever happened to me before was 38 years earlier in 1976. We went to do the Tatooine scenes in the first couple of weeks of the movie. Before Harrison and Carrie came over, Alec Guinness and Tony Daniels and Kenny Baker and the rest of the crew all went to North Africa, to Tunisia. And one of the places we were filming was the Salt Flats. And the Salt Flats is just 360 degrees of white sand, because if you dig down, it's salt water. Nothing can grow there, so it's all just firmly packed, salty sand. And I'm standing there in the Luke Skywalker boots with the wrap-up things, and I didn't have my lightsaber yet because we hadn't done that scene, and he didn't have one on the farm. But I had the floating car there, and Tony and I don't know if Kenny was even in R2 at the time. He was probably having a tea break. But my point is, I looked out, and you know what the sun looks like. Spoiler alert, they added one. For the people that believe it's real. But you know what it looks like, minus the extra special effects one. So it's so beautiful, and the sun's going down, and I was there. I was so there. It's hard to get that feeling, because when you're in a studio and you're in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon and they're rocking it back and forth, and then it's cut, and then you get out and you go down the ladder and you go get tea or whatever. It's all just make-believe. And a lot of people say, well, isn't it really hard, to imagine all these things? And I think, well, it's not really any different here. Yeah, we're driving a spaceship, but I've been in tons of things where you're in a cutout of, you're supposed to be in a car, but you're in the studio, and there's a cutaway of the car, and the stagehands are rocking the car, and they're showing footage behind you. I mean, that's no different, really. You're not really out on the road. You're not really driving a truck. So it's all, tied back into the make-believe that you had in your mind as a child. So I'm open, you guys. I actually made notes. I was so sorry when